Well, like you said, you're ultimately arrested and charged with wire fraud.
Yep.
You get released, and then initially you had to move back into your parents' house?
No, I never. I think that was another media story. No, I never moved back with my parents. But yeah, I was released. I was certainly, had very, very little to nothing at that time, but I was still living in the city.
Right, but you're out on bail, and according to some of the people that you were working with, on the Fyre Festival, you were telling everyone that you're definitely not going to jail. Mm-hmm. Did you really believe that you weren't going to jail?
I think so. I think I was. So they arrested me late on a Friday night, and so I spent that Friday night in jail, and was released the next morning on bond or bail, whatever it's called, and I was scared, right? And I'm like, I saw the people in jail, and I'm like, I'm nervous, and like, this is really me? Like, did I do, like, I was confused. As a 25-year-old kid now, my world collapsed. I think I went from like the biggest noticeable difference was like the day of the festival and the months leading up to it. I'd wake up to 1,000 emergency texts, phone calls, emails every morning. And now I wake up and there was nothing, right? My phone was like as if it didn't work. No one would respond to my text, no one would respond to my call. I was like literally living in like in silence. And it was like the weirdest feeling ever. And I'm like, this can't be real. And I was lying to myself and I was behaving poorly, but yes, I was obviously wrong.
Okay, because then, well, at one point you were living in a hotel or a penthouse or something like that after this happened, and you started to assemble another group of people with a company called NYC VIP Access?
Yeah, and this is, I guess, another one of the top 2 or 3 embarrassing moments of my life, I think. I was on bail, I needed money, and one thing that Magnesis had done well prior to Fyre was doing these great experiences for our customers, right? I'm like, okay, I can get back to that. And I was clearly wrong, but I deluded myself into thinking that I could still get tickets or get access or even be invited to some of these events that I, may have had peripheral access in the years before. And so I started selling them. And it was fucked up and it was wrong, and there's no excuse for that.
Right, because you were offering people dinner with LeBron.
I don't know about that one. I was definitely offering ridiculous things.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I heard someone mention that,
okay, I didn't know.
Which you can't really pay for.
No, yeah, I did.
You can't. LeBron way too rich to have some random have dinner with him.
I was not aware of that one.
Right.
Can I bid for it now?
Met Gala tickets, which once again you can't just buy. Anna Wintour has to personally approve everybody. Taylor Swift meet and greets, which she does not do. And then other stuff like, Madison Square Garden floor seats and, Golf Masters tickets and stuff like that. And I guess you were using the Fyre mailing list to hit people up?
Yeah, I definitely used the Fyre email list. I think like the premise is true, is that I was selling things that I probably couldn't get. I don't think I was selling LeBron James dinners, but I think that sounds like a documentary story. However, the premise is wrong, right? Now I was behaving like an asshole. And I think ultimately I probably got 3 or 4 more years in jail because of that. I probably got more time, like in isolation, probably got more time for that than Fyre Festival, because it was that behavior that was like, oh wait, like maybe he is a scumbag, and like so I think that really changed my fate.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you got about $100,000 from people with these new schemes, essentially.
Okay.
Is that right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it was
somewhere around there.
Tiny in comparison to the Fyre Festival investor.
But still, people's money for services that you were not going to carry through on.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess around the time of the festival, you borrowed around $7 million with an effective annualized rate of 120%.
Yeah. Which
you defaulted on. So then the lender sued you. Mm-hmm. And essentially, the judge forced you to file for bankruptcy, or the Fyre Festival company to file for bankruptcy.
The Fyre Festival company, correct, filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.